Celtic followed up our defeat to Kilmarnock in the Cup with a 0-0 draw to St Johnstone. In today's video we will discuss the 3 things we learned whilst also going through all the latest Celtic news from the last 24 hours. But first, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for daily Celtic content. Celtic failed to score for the second consecutive game as they drew to St Johnstone. This game could have went on for days and Celtic wouldn't have found the back of the net, despite the countless chances falling to players. It was a lethargic performance from the Hoops, but that's how they played in the first 4 games this season. Here are 3 things we learned as Celtic dropped points in the league. Referee inexperience takes a toll. The performance of the referee in his first game involving Celtic left much to be desired. From allowing St Johnstone to waste time without repercussions to interrupting the flow of the game with questionable foul calls, it's clear that the inexperience was at play. The lack of time wasting yellow cards and his interference with the ball movement adversely affected the outcome of the match for Celtic. With a role so pivotal, the question of whether he should officiate future games involving Celtic have arisen. The transfer window isn't solving problems. Despite new signings, the match showed that Celtic's roster still has gaps. Players like Ralston, Scales, Forrest and Haksabanovic, who are on the field for Celtic, displayed the squad is not up to the standards expected of the club. Injuries may be a mitigating factor, but it's clear that Celtic still needs the reinforcements, particularly if they wish to be competitive. This match is a wake-up call for the team to reassess its strategy in the transfer market. Rodgers under the microscope. Brendan Rodgers finds himself under increasing pressure following another lacklustre performance. Coming into a match against a team at the bottom of the league, anything less than a win would have been deemed unsatisfactory. Unfortunately for Rodgers, the game was far from inspiring. His return to the club was a gamble, and thus far hasn't yielded the expected results. The board and fans will be looking for a swift turnaround in form, or Rodgers might find a second stint at Celtic short-lived. Expectations were high that the boys would bounce back from last week's Scottish League Cup exit with a victory this afternoon, but 2 valuable points were dropped, and the club faces more questions about a slow summer. The schedule only gets tougher over the next few weeks with a trip to Ibrox on the horizon before the small matter of the Champions League. Understandably, there are concerns among supporters. And Rodgers was obviously unhappy himself in the aftermath. Speaking to BBC Radio Scotland, he said, "No, we didn't deserve the win. There was enough effort from the players and the goalkeeper, who makes a couple of really good saves, but overall we didn't play with the tempo that we would have wanted to, or have that little bit of craft you need to break down a team that is low. St Johnstone deserved something from the game. For us, we lacked a number of things we needed to win the game. There's a number of things we're working on, but certainly the tempo of the games was too slow. We had chances, we arrived in good places on the field, but we had to show more imagination and quality to penetrate. Sadly, we weren't able to do that." Later he said, "After you win a treble it can happen. You put such a big effort into the last season. Then you come into the season, there's a greater expectation. Opponents will always up their game against you, but it's my job to find the solutions." Celtic's incoming Luis Palma is due to travel to Scotland in the coming days as he completes his transfer to the Scottish Giants. His father recently opened up about his immense pride and joy at his son's forthcoming transfer to Celtic, whilst also offering a glimpse into the young player's journey and dreams. From kicking balls in his grandfather's vegetable patch to being on the brink of playing in the world's most prestigious club competition, the Champions League, Luis Palma's story is a compelling tale of passion, grit and ambition. Luis Palma has long nurtured the dream of playing in the Champions League. According to his father, this dream has been the driving force behind the young talent's unwavering focus and determination. Luis's big dream in life has always been to play in the Champions League in Europe, his father said, quoted by Sun Sport. Now he will get to do that with Celtic. Whilst obviously thrilled at his son's accomplishments, Luis Palma's father also emphasised the importance of staying grounded. "When he called me to tell me about the transfer to Scotland, I told him how proud I was of him. Although I made it clear that it is important that he keeps his feet on the ground, because his path still has a long way to go," he added. The story of Luis Palma isn't one of progeny born with a silver spoon. In fact, his humble origins make his rise to professional football even more inspiring. "I remember his grandfather giving him trouble because his football was destroying his vegetable patch," his father fondly recalled. Whilst the Champions League stage beckons and Celtic fans eagerly await their new star's arrival, it seems that Celtic failed to be bold and ambitious when it comes to goalkeeping recruitment. As Fenerbahce have signed Croatian goalkeeper Dominik Livkovic for a modest £5.7 million plus £700,000 in performance-related add-ons, one can't help but wonder why aren't Celtic more aggressive. A top-tier goalkeeper has been a missing piece in the Celtic puzzle for some time, and the missed opportunity to acquire Livkovic is a glaring oversight. When we dissect the £5.7 million figure, even with the £700,000 in add-ons, it's apparent that this is a sum well within Celtic's reach. Teams competing in Europe, especially a club like Celtic, need a formidable presence behind the sticks. Considering the impact that a strong goalkeeper can have, not just by saving goals, but by organising the defence and inspiring confidence, this deal appears to be a bargain. It is disappointing that Celtic did not make an official approach for the player, who could have been a cornerstone for the squad. Dominik Livkovic is no ordinary goalkeeper. At 28 years old, he is entering the prime years of a player in his position. His recent performances for Dinamo Zagreb and the Croatian national team have been terrific. A shot stopper with excellent reflexes, Livkovic also boasts strong distribution skills, a critical trait in modern football where building from the back fits how Rodgers wants his team to play. In simple terms, he's a game changer, and at such a reasonable price, a move for Livkovic would have been more than justified. The saying, if you're not moving forwards, you're moving backwards, rings true here. The football landscape is highly competitive, and missed opportunities like this can spell the difference between success and stagnation. In the age of skyrocketing transfer fees, finding value in the market is just not smart, it's essential for long-term planning. A goalkeeper of Livkovic's calibre could have provided stability for years to come. Now the club will either have to settle for a less than ideal option or splurge a potentially much larger sum on a comparable talent, which might not even be available. Football is a game of fine margins, and the best clubs are those that can identify and seize opportunities when they present themselves. Fenerbahce did exactly that by capturing Dominik Livkovic for a fee that can only be considered a bargain in today's inflated market. Meanwhile, Celtic's inaction speaks volumes about their lack of ambition in a crucial area in need. One can only hope that this missed opportunity serves as a wake-up call for the club to be more proactive and decisive in the future. Celtic fans, what did you make of our draw with St Johnstone? Let me know down in the comment section below. That brings us to the end of today's video, guys. Make sure you drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Remember, we have released our brand new Celtic t-shirts. We have our Brendan Rodgers Pope t-shirt and our Celtic Ultra t-shirts too. You can find them at celticapparel.com or just go down to the link in the description. Thank you, take care, bye bye.